Analysis on tonight's top races.
Yeah, let's toss it over to WDSU's Travers Mackel and our analyst team with much more with Jason Hughes and Jay Bad. Thank you for joining us again. Gentlemen, good to see you. Happy
pleasure.
Election Day.
Thank you.
Yeah, look, we have a Republican and a Democrat. Let's just start with the Republican. Jay, you're a member of the state party here. What is Trump's path to victory, and what does it mean if he does claim victory and gets the White House back tonight for people in Metro New Orleans and Louisiana?
Looking at Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania are the three keys, in my opinion. And if he takes those, I believe he's back in the White House.
And what does a Trump presidency mean for the people, in your opinion, of Louisiana right here? I mean, look, Trump's going to carry this state. I think that's a foregone conclusion at this point. Yes. What does that mean for people here in Louisiana?
The way he approaches the energy policies of fracking, pipelines, and things of that nature, I believe that's going to be something that's beneficial to our state.
All right, Jason, from the Democratic Party here, and you are a state rep who's involved with the Democratic Party, what is Kamala Harris's path to victory, the path to 270 for her, and what does the Harris presidency mean for Metro New Orleans?
Well, look, the good news, Travers, there's multiple paths for the vice president. Obviously, the easiest path is the blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan. She's looking very good in those states. Obviously, Pennsylvania is going to be close. But she's also running strong in the Sun Belt states. And let me just say, I was in Arizona week before last on behalf of the campaign. Jay, I was in North Carolina this past weekend. Bad news for the Republicans. There's lots of momentum for the Democrats. North Carolina is a state to watch. I think it could be the big upset tonight. As far as for the state of Louisiana, city of New Orleans, you look at people like Cedric Richmond, Mitch Landrieu, very close to the vice president, and Helena Moreno, our counsel at large president. She was the campaign co-chair for Vice President Harris 4 years ago. So very good news for our state.
She's actually there right now. Really quickly before we wrap up, you have businesses in North Carolina. First off, our apologies because I know what they're dealing with in Asheville right here. But is that a state that you spend a lot of time in that you feel Trump can win, or do you think it's going to go blue here with Kamala Harris?
I believe it's going to stay red, or go back to red, pardon me. And I think it'll be close, just like we stay looking at Georgia. But I believe Trump is going to carry North Carolina.
Let's dig deeper into the local topics here as well, too. Jason just brought up people who could have key roles possibly in a Harris administration. Governor Jeff Landry, possibly, if Trump wins the White House, is he somebody who the president could eye for AG or a cabinet level position?
It's been discussed, and it's been discussed for about the last 2 or 3 months now. That would be very fortunate for us in Louisiana if that were to occur, that he'd bring somebody in a high position like that. So should he win the presidency? And
then really quickly, we'll wrap up with you, Jason. Is Cedric Richmond or Mitch Landrieu possibly in line for something like that if Kamala Harris wins the White House?
Well, look, Cedric Richmond is one of the 4 people in the innermost circle for the vice president. Obviously, the sky's the limit for him. I think both of them will be in a very great position.
Yeah. All right. We'll have much more with you all coming up in this newscast and again at 5 and 6. Jay Bat, State Republican Party. Jason Hughes, State Democratic Party. We'll come back to y'all in just 1 second.